What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I got a little bit of extra for you. May 24th, 2021. Velveteen Dream finally releases a statement after his allegations and after his NXT release. I got news on Keith Lee. What is going on with Keith Lee? Now Mia Yim is getting involved. Also, I have news on the Ultimate Warrior. Dana Brooke shoots on the production team of Dark Side of the Ring. Where is Edge? I got news on why Edge is not on WWE television, plus so much more. Thank you guys very much for joining me here on Off the Script Extra. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is on Twitter and on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below if you guys want the best in pro wrestling and pro wrestling news, WWE, AEW, and everywhere in between. Right here on Off the Script, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for notifications. If you guys missed the flagship podcast last night, I was actually live on YouTube for episode 377 of the podcast. We talked about the Velveteen Dream, and I gave my official opinion on everything that came out of his firing. I shoot on social media, and everybody just claiming that they know it all, and they're accusing him without actual evidence. I talk about John Cena and his impending WWE return, plus 3 hours of audio content. It was awesome. So if you guys missed that, go check it out. And I will be live tonight after Monday Night Raw for the Off the Script post show following Monday Night Raw. That is, of course, if you guys are not sleeping by then, because we all know Raw is fucking boring. Starting off at the top, guys, Velveteen Dream finally breaks his silence after his WWE release. Now, as you guys know, Velveteen Dream was released from his NXT contract. Allegations came out about him that caused a lot of controversy, and the Fire Velveteen Dream hashtag trended whenever he was on NXT television. Now he is addressing these allegations. Now, he dropped 2 lengthy, and I mean lengthy, Instagram stories. I'm not going to read the entirety of his Instagram story as it's floating around on social media. If you guys want to go check it out for yourself, I'll leave Dream's Instagram and his official statement down below with a link in the description. You guys can go check it out. I'm going to read you a brief description of what was said there. He dropped 2 lengthy Instagram stories. Velveteen Dream made it clear that there is a line between his character and who he, Patrick Clark, really is. He also tried for years to blur that line, replacing it with Dream's over-the-top personality. Now, the former NXT superstar also said that the allegations which came out about him on April 20th, 2020 effectively derailed any upward momentum that he had professionally. Now, Patrick Clark went on to explain that the Velveteen Dream character was invented on the day Prince died. He created a sexually ambiguous, gender-fluid, self-absorbed diva. Then he said trouble started when he announced that his DMs were open. He received a few messages and replied to some of them. One male named Jacob wanted to be a pro wrestler, and Dream told him he needed to work on his physique and promos. Dream then said Jacob asked him to verify that he was talking to the real person. Velveteen Dream said he found that to be weird because he did have a blue check mark on Instagram, so Jacob should have realized and knew that he was talking to the real Velveteen Dream. That is when Dream sent him an audio clip, and the full voice message has me asking Jacob about his height, weight, where he trained, and what school he attended. That is supposedly where the audio clip came from, which surfaced as part of the allegations. Patrick Clark also addressed his second accuser, Joshua Fuller, whom he said he met at a meet and greet in 2016. Then they developed a friendship through a mutual trainer at GXW. He said that Fuller had very contradictory statements about his experience with him. Dream also said he cut off conversations with Fuller in 2018 when he refused to see a doctor after suffering a concussion training. Dream said he didn't want to contribute to that bad decision. In the end, Velveteen Dream said his 2 accusers are 2 of many people that he helped along the way. So you guys can read his official statement and make your own assumptions down below. I'll leave you a link down below in the description of this very video. I'm not going to go over what I said last night, but in brief, I honestly think that Velveteen Dream, and I said this last night on the podcast, if Velveteen Dream was convicted guilty, he would have been fired a long time ago. WWE clearly did investigative work on this. If WWE had anything happen to their image and they were still employing and paying and featuring on TV somebody like the Velveteen Dream with the accusations that were brought upon him, it's not going to be good for WWE's public image. And we all know that WWE's public image is their #1 priority over everything. The money that they make and their public image is #1 for WWE. Dream would have been fired. #1. #2, you can't really blame him for coming out and saying that he's innocent here. There's a side to every story. You got Joshua Fuller, you got Jacob, you got the Velveteen Dream. Everybody on social media acted as if they knew Dream was guilty because somebody came out and made a statement. Everybody refused to hear about Dream's side of the story, and now you got his side of the story. And now it's up to you whether you're going to be a fan of the Velveteen Dream, whether you're going to give him a second chance, whether you're going to make your own assumptions on him, hate him, love him, everywhere in between. It's up to you guys to finally say, you know what? I hate this guy, fuck this guy, or I'm going to give this guy another chance. It's up to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to think about the Velveteen Dream. If he surfaces in another promotion, which is very unlikely right now, I don't see anybody picking him up because of the name that he's pretty much generated for himself. All the accusations are going to follow him wherever he goes. Everybody that picks up this guy to wrestle or do a signing or feature on television, whether you're a Ring of Honor or an Impact, an AEW, you're going to be one of those companies that is just going to be a black mark on social media. Fans are going to drive away in numbers. They're not going to associate with you any longer. They won't watch your television shows. It's just so much negative surrounding him. You can't touch him at this point in time. You can't. Fans on social media have already made their determination on the Velveteen Dream. Fans don't know any better. They're not going to go out and do investigative work to find out if he really is innocent or really is guilty. They're just going to come to their own conclusions based on what they heard. That's all they know. But I'm here to tell you, don't look at social media as the end-all, be-all of justice when it comes to something like this. I think the act itself of what he's being accused for is fucking disgusting, and people like that should be away from humanity. I get it. But you can't really zing the guy on something that you don't know of. You don't know if he's innocent, you don't know if he's guilty, but everybody's out there claiming that this guy is guilty. Now he came out with an official statement. I want to see what happens now. It's up to you guys. Let me know in the comments if you think Dream is guilty, if you think Dream is innocent, if you think his statement is complete bullshit, if you're going to side with him, give him a second chance. Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys want to read it, like I said, I'll leave you a link to Dream's Instagram in the description of this very video. Keith Lee. There is a major rumor right now about Keith Lee being released from the WWE. Keith Lee has been off television for quite some time now, since February to be exact. He was supposed to win the United States Championship. They took him off television. Nobody has heard from him. Nobody has seen him at all. People are now speculating. It's getting into the area of just speculation. Why did they take him off television? Did WWE quietly release him without anybody knowing? Is he sick? Did he contract COVID? What's going on with Keith Lee? Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com confirmed that WWE officials and talent have debunked the rumor that Keith Lee has been released. It's previously been reported that Lee has not been cleared to return for health reasons, but specifics are not known as of yet. Lee has said that he will disclose the details one day, so it's best to wait for him to do that instead of speculating and believing every rumor that surfaces about Keith Lee. He's been off TV since February, like I mentioned before, just before he was planned to win the United States Championship at the Elimination Chamber. Responding to a fan asking what the future holds for Keith Lee, Lee replied, and I quote, "Only time will tell." I don't want to make any speculation, but I've already put it out there. And I'm going to, again, reiterate this to you guys. Keith Lee was in NXT. He was both North American and NXT World Champion. Number one, he dropped the World Championship to Karrion Kross. He then got promoted after he lost the North American Championship to the main roster. Demoted to the main roster. You go to Monday Night Raw, it's called a demotion, folks. Monday Night Raw is absolutely dreadful for one's career. Keith Lee got demoted to Monday Night Raw. They botched his debut in epic fashion. They featured him on TV. He was in programs with Randy Orton, programs with Drew McIntyre. Keith Lee was going on into the new year. He was featured for the United States Championship. They had him doing shit with Riddle. They had him doing shit with Bobby Lashley. And then all of a sudden, he was taken off of television. This guy was at the height of his professional wrestling career right before he got called up. He was made into a big deal once he got called up to the main roster. Then all of a sudden, he was taken off television for health reasons. I find that to be very bizarre, don't you? A guy that is on his way, going to the top, all of a sudden taken off television? Why was he taken off television? In every other sport, if a major star is taken off television or taken off the fucking field, taken off the court, you are filled in on why your star player is not playing. Whether it's an ACL, MCL, he tore a ligament, he's got the cold, he's this and that, he's on the fucking 15-day DL, he's day-to-day. We got no update on Keith Lee. Then Mia Yim comes out today and says it's nobody's business. It is for health and personal reasons. It's nobody's business. Stop asking. I'm sorry, are we not, as fans, supposed to ask when WWE's brightest star is taken off television for absolutely no fucking reason? Now, I'm not going to sit here and speculate, but I already threw it out there because this is typically what WWE does as far as their line of thinking. They thought Keith Lee was fat. I'm sorry to be blunt with you, but don't you think that WWE, in the history that WWE has projected onto us, don't you realize that they don't push people like Keith Lee to the top? They changed every aspect of Keith Lee. High-flying, fucking 300-pound guy that's throwing his weight around and doing a fucking plancha or a Spanish fly and a moonsault. They took all that away from him. They wanted him to work a Mark Henry / Kane / Big Show, big man style. That's not Keith Lee. You effectively took Keith Lee's fucking essence and ruined it. You wanted him to be something that he's not. You wanted him to do something that did not bring him to the dance. Then he's taken off television. Why? Was Keith Lee not a good professional wrestler? Was Keith Lee overweight in your eyes? I could absolutely see that being the case. Was he injured? Maybe. A nagging injury here, a nagging injury there. But Keith Lee effectively taken off television for a fucking injury? Give me a break. This guy, again, was at the height of his career, coming out of NXT as a double champion. He's not hurt. He's not sick. There's no health reasons. WWE took him off television because they want to change Keith Lee. They may find something of value in Keith Lee, but they want Keith Lee to be something that they want Keith Lee to be. That's the fact of the matter here. And I'm sick and tired of WWE main roster changing shit that doesn't need to be changed. Now, Mia Yim obviously is coming to his defense. On one hand, I agree with her. On the other hand, I don't. I could see WWE quietly releasing Keith Lee. They let Samoa Joe go. Of course they quietly release him. I could see that happening. Bury this guy and keep him out of the public eye, which is not working because now everybody's asking questions. So his value is nothing when they have his contract come up. That could definitely be the case. Who knows when this guy signed the WWE deal? He could be coming up on a contract year, and WWE is suppressing him by keeping him at home because they don't want Keith Lee on WWE television. When he's a free agent, his value is basically nothing. I could absolutely see it happening. If not already. Keith Lee, if they get rid of Keith Lee and have botched him to this point, it is their own fault. They're the dumbest fucking people in pro wrestling. Anybody in this industry would be jumping at the fact that Keith Lee's a free agent to get Keith Lee on their roster. A mega talent that has everything it takes to be a top-tier guy, and you took him off television for absolutely no reason. And now we as fans, now we're being fucking criticized for asking questions. I'm sorry that we fucking care. Would you rather me not say anything and say, fuck Keith Lee? Fucking ridiculous, man. Pro wrestlers are the fucking softest people on the internet. Ask a question, you should get an answer. Edge. People are now asking about Edge and why he's not on WWE television. On Fightful Select, this was asked to Sean Ross Sapp. Sapp said that he is under the impression that Edge is taking, quote-unquote, scheduled time off. Edge signed a part-time deal to return to the WWE in January 2020. So Edge wasn't expected to be on television every single week. I'm sorry that WWE fans are just completely out of the loop and brain dead. Did you expect Edge to be on television? He's 50 years old. He's going to be on television when it matters most. It's going to be a situation when he's on television during a Royal Rumble, during a WrestleMania, during a SummerSlam, and during a Survivor Series build. There's no reason for him to be on television other than the 4 major pay-per-views that WWE has on their yearly calendar. Edge was on TV every week because, I don't know if you realize this, folks, it's WrestleMania season. He was in the main event of WrestleMania. He's the challenger for the WWE Universal Championship. He needed to be on TV every week. He needed to be there when they asked him to be there. Now that it's not WrestleMania season, now he may be banged up, he may be a little hurt. He's home now, recuperating, getting back to full strength so he can come back during SummerSlam, and WWE could hopefully give him another epic feud for SummerSlam to sell that, which is potentially happening in Las Vegas. He's got a Brock Lesnar deal. 25 dates, 4 shows, 4 or 5 matches, tops. Give me a break, folks. You gotta think. Stop asking stupid fucking questions. Edge is not going to be on TV every week. I would rather him work this schedule than have him be out another 9 months. Give me a break. Kenny Omega, speaking of world champions, Kenny Omega reacts to Chris Jericho claiming that Kenny Omega is the best pro wrestler in the world. Kenny Omega also, quote-unquote, shoots on Jim Ross. Now, to quickly recap this, Jim Ross on his podcast, Grilling JR, recently said this, and I quote, "I don't think anybody is any better than Randy Orton in the wrestling business." So Jim Ross, an AEW play-by-play guy, stated that Randy Orton is the best pro wrestler in the business. Nothing wrong with that. I know many people that I know that think that same thing. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's his opinion. Of course, it's subjective, he says. I love Randy's work, although I don't watch it regularly enough to make a great evaluation. In the last several months that I've turned into watch some of Randy's segments, he doesn't disappoint. No matter how the creative is packaged to him, he doesn't disappoint. I'm sure there's Kenny Omega fans out there that would say Omega is the best pro wrestler in the world. Some will, and they got the right to their opinion, and I'm not going to argue it. Omega is really freaking good. In any event, it's a good time to be a fan. A lot of great talent out there improving their game, adapting, and adding things. That's JR's opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, Jericho took to Twitter to back this up and give his own opinion. He took to Twitter and said this, and I quote, "In my opinion, Kenny Omega is the best pro wrestler in the world today. Others may feel differently, but I've been in the ring with everybody currently working on top, and there's nobody close. That's why Kenny Omega is the AEW champion, the most protected title in the business. It's impossible to argue." Omega seen both of these replies from Jim Ross and Chris Jericho. He didn't seem too impressed with Jericho's take as he wrote this, and I quote, "Meh, I'd rather believe the bigot cuck," which is Jim Cornette, dim-witted E-drones, which is the typical WWE cretin on social media that is completely fucking brain dead, and the guy that thinks I'm the WWE champion, meaning Jim Ross, who inadvertently called Kenny Omega as the AEW World Champion, the WWE Champion, on a recent edition of Dynamite. Few months ago, actually. So he's now zinging him on something that happened a few months ago. So these two guys, Jericho and Omega, they haven't wrestled each other since we saw the Wrestle Kingdom 12 match. The second time, saw Jericho beat Omega at Double or Nothing in 2019. That was in Japan and then obviously in the United States individually. Omega will defend his AEW title against Orange Cassidy and Pac at Double or Nothing in a triple threat match this coming Sunday. And Jericho will take part in the Canadian Stampede against MJF and the Pinnacle. I found this to be quite funny as people are taking this to be serious. Kenny Omega is playing up his heel act as a cocky prick. I'm sure he loves Jim Ross. I'm sure he loves Chris Jericho. There's no ill will. There's no heat there. But to add to the discussion, I honestly think Kenny Omega is the best professional in-ring, bell-to-bell wrestler in the world. Is he the best storyteller in all of pro wrestling? No, he's not. That goes to Roman Reigns. So in my eyes, Roman Reigns is the best professional wrestler in the world right now, because not only is he a good professional wrestler, he's obviously not on the level of a Kenny Omega, but the story level investment that Roman Reigns and everything around him just emanates. It's just that damn good. Roman Reigns, to me, is the number one guy in the business for what he is doing. Kenny Omega, I feel like, even though he's the best pro wrestler in the world, the storytelling that comes from Kenny Omega is nowhere on the same level as Roman Reigns. I don't even think we've seen the beginning stages of Kenny Omega's title run yet. So who am I to say anything? But what we've seen from Roman Reigns, it's tough to argue that he's not the number one act in all of professional wrestling. Now that's subjective, and I know I'm probably going to get heat for that, but sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys think and who you think is the best pro wrestler in the entire world. Dana Warrior. She won't be a part of the Dark Side of the Ring Ultimate Warrior edition. She calls it smut and filth. It's not often that two companies will air documentaries on the same guy pretty much within the same week. And that's what happened with the A&E special that aired. Obviously, WWE is behind all of the A&E documentaries. They're going to tell you the stories that they want told. It's also a reason why I haven't gone out and watched any of them yet, because some of them have skewed the truth from what I was told. The Ultimate Warrior one was obviously praised, and it set him apart from what we already know about the Ultimate Warrior. Some of you may not like him for his shady history, but this documentary, from what I read, has colored the Ultimate Warrior in a positive light, because Ultimate Warrior, before his passing, made up with everybody in the WWE, and they gave him a Hall of Fame induction. They had him come out on Monday Night Raw and bless the WWE audience after his Hall of Fame induction. So everything about the Warrior in this documentary, they did go over his demons, but they ultimately presented him in a positive light. Dark Side of the Ring does that, but it also highlights the internal struggle and the parts of his story that people might not understand. They might not know his history. He was who he was. That's what they do. They do it with everybody. It's not just the Ultimate Warrior. So she's calling it smut and filth. So on Sunday night, Dana Warrior took to Instagram to share a photo of the Ultimate Warrior with his daughter. So Dana Warrior says this, and I quote, after a fan asked her if she's going to be a part of the Dark Side of the Ring documentary. She said this, and I quote, I had no part in that project. Smut and filth does not rise to my note. Now, again, it should be noted that these documentaries are very different, as AEW is partnered with WWE, and WWE tells them what they want in these documentaries. Dark Side of the Ring has nothing to do with the WWE, as it's its own entity. So I don't think anybody has said anything bad about the Dark Side of the Ring documentaries. In fact, it's not only Vice's highest rated show, It's probably the best wrestling documentary that we've seen in years. Everybody is so thrilled to watch every Thursday. They are captivating. So if Dark Side of the Ring is highlighting something on the Ultimate Warrior that Dana Warrior doesn't approve, I'm sorry. The story needs to be out there. That's exactly what they do. That's their job. I'm sorry that you try to bury all of the Warriors' past, but this is what they are supposed to do. You can present him in any light that you want after his passing and that he made up with the WWE. That's what they want you to know. What Dark Side of the Ring wants us to know is that, plus everything that led up to him being in the Hall of Fame and why he wasn't in talking terms with WWE. His racially charged past, his comments, the type of person he was before he actually became what we saw before he passed. I'm sorry if Dana Warrior doesn't approve of that. Maybe she hasn't watched Dark Side of the Ring to really grasp what type of program it is. I'm very interested in seeing that one more than anything this season on Dark Side of the Ring. Guys, that is all that I got for this Off the Script Extra. Let me know what you think of all these top stories down below in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more. I will be live tonight for the Monday Night Raw post show immediately following Monday Night Raw. And if you missed Off the Script this past weekend, episode 377, I'll leave you guys a link in the comment section pinned at the very top of the comments. Guys, I'm getting out of here. I'll see you tonight live for Raw. Until then, take care, and I'll see you guys tonight for the Raw post show on Off the Script.